Hi, everyone. So we wait a moment, just as people arrive, we find our seat and we come up to sitting. And this is the last session with us live um, until the next one, I suppose. So we're working on Sattva um, this morning. Thank you for the message. And Sattva is hard to identify because most of us are living in intense, um, a sense of intensity. And so until we identify how we're living, it's really hard to find sattva. And so that's the practice, and it's good that there's time. So even if you can't do it today, come back to it again later. It's the time where you're sitting and you're watching the variation of the mind that um, I consider it a manic flow. So because I consider it manic, it means it's more disruptive, or what's called rajas. And those that find that it's more dull and they find they're sleepy and they just can't get awake, it's much more tamasic. But sattva is the resting point of inspiration. It's that moment just before it. So we're neither activated nor stabilized. We're present to everything that's on its way, but also everything that has been. So you have three life principles to work on. So find your seat strong. As you rise up through the pelvis. And early in the morning, it can be a bit of a shake to get up. So that's the disruption. And sleep itself is tamasic, it is inert. And that's why a few forward folds first thing in the morning will help the body clear, will help the breath clear, will help the mind clear. But I'll be covering that in the next course coming soon enough. So I'd like you to just be present to the three life principles. There's disruption, there's inertia, and there's harmony. And if you can't tell the difference, it's probably inertia you're feeling. And if you feel like your body is smiling on the inside, this is sattva, or the harmonious sense of equilibrium. And if you feel that you need to leave and there's something shaking inside you, there's old traumas that get awakened by us being silent in the body. This is disruption, this is rajas. And the sitting with the traumas can help. Sometimes it can make them feel worse. So make sure and contact me so I can support you a little bit more if this is the case. And if it's easier to have your eyes open, then looking at the tip of your nose can help. And those that find it hard to keep their eyes open, it could be that one of the doshas is out of balance. Sorry, to keep your eyes closed. It could be that one of your doshas is out of balance. So focusing on the nose is another very supportive practice to stillness. So you can all try it. It's also a prevention to falling asleep. So keeping your eyes however they are, I just want you to come into focus to what's happening right now. Um, my dog is making noise. So that's disruption, but it also leads our mind out of the present of what's arriving in that waterfall of thought. But also, do you notice then? So it's sometimes it can be hard to find inertia, but you notice then when you're sitting and everything is really silent, and you feel like you're being cozied up by the support of the whole system of sitting still. And in that support of sitting and feeling that we're being cozied along, that's actually the inertia arriving. It's that squeezing of awareness. It's losing awareness. You're coming more inward and closing all senses. Whereas harmony is open to all things, but also boundary. So I love to try and watch those and not so much work them out, but understand them later on. To know that that disruption, that dispersing energy of our mind is the overactive mind and often the needing to fix things, to change things, to make them our way. And then if you realize, well, what if I just sat with it this way for a little while? Can I do that? And then to stay alert in that surrender to things as they are. And surrender is not inertia. Surrender is allowing the balance to arrive within us without doing too much. So I know for me, I find that practice difficult because I end up having conversations much more than I would with mantra. So the difference is that mantra is like a string pulling us along, and all thought falls away. In the spaciousness of certain meditations, the mind has too much space and moves about and darts around and falls asleep and all that. So we're going to do a sattvic practice, and I want you to actually repeat in your mind. And so this is a difficult one because you are stating a true fact, and yet our our inner self often refuses to believe this. So on the inhale, you repeat in your mind, I am. And on the exhale, you repeat peace. Or if you want to use the yogic sound of Om Shanti. And what we're going to do is I want to remind you that you need all those three life principles for activation in our life. So we'll give you the scenario of this practice here. If we didn't have the disruption, the force to move forward, to change, to create a sense of peace within ourselves, you would not be here today and you would not be sitting here today. So the disruption is rajas, and the sitting and arriving, every single time you arrived, that's the inert energy of staying with it and grounding. And then the sattva arrives, I'm here. And now to allow all those to be present in this field of mantra. And this mantra is I am peace. And you will find also mindful explosions of no, I'm not, yes, I am. And I want you to just keep repeating it when you realize you're thinking. And now we have a long stretch where I say nothing. And I want you to trust in the process of mantra. And it's incredibly powerful work. And it sets an intention for the rest of your day because you won't forget it because you're going to be practicing it for a good few minutes without me yammering on. So off you go. So becoming present to the body. Practicing and finding and seeking silence of sattva, harmony, meditation. The reason you feel good after it is because your discernment has taken a huge leap forward. It's like the frontal lobe, you have opened the door a little bit. And this is where all the good feeling rests. That's why we have endorphins, to remind us of those things that we need, that we really want to bring into our life, at least in my mind. This is one of the most life-altering practices you can do. It's not just a salve for human nature, but also it can actually heal the wounds of the past. And as we create a sense of ourself and our truth inside us, we allow others to do the same. So just for a few moments, allowing yourself to have gratitude for arriving this morning. And I would like you to admire yourself for doing this, to appreciate yourself for all you have survived, all that you have been through. You came and you sat with it. And you saw that it's not all of the story. Our lives are super busy. And I like to think of meditation for me like sitting with my best friend, having a cup of tea, and giving them all the attention. And when I do that for myself, that's that love coming back. Although meditation itself can be corralled into non-secular, non-spiritual, Yoga and Ayurveda believes that we are touching into the most beautiful parts of ourselves, which are, of course, the nature of life. Like seeing ourselves as a newborn baby. How could that not be a spiritual moment? So thank the little babies inside yourself for me. And I'm really delighted that you came to join me. Mind yourselves and let me know what you think. I'm going to send out little review things in the app today. Or sorry, in WhatsApp today. And yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.